Kami finally accepted them into his ranks, though they were still somewhat weaker than Goku was in the original story. Partway through their training, something horrific happened. Kami told them that there was a war brewing below, that artificial humans were attacking martial artists. They were both confused, but they had to go down and check it out. Kami told them that if they left, their training would be incomplete, but Goku and Caulifla could feel it in their hearts that Tien and Krillin were both in trouble. Kami told them to be careful, as he cannot help them, but allowed them to leave. Once Caulifla and Goku arrived on the surface, they saw that the lands of Korin had been ravaged and burned. Upa and Bora hid, but came out when they saw them. They were looking older than before, almost unrecognizable. Bora explained that their lands were attacked by that man that Goku defeated, but he looked strange, almost like a robot. Caulifla gulped. She knew what this was about. Tao Pai Pai. Part of her was glad to see that he was alive, but he needed to be stopped if he was part of this. It really pained her. Through their training, Goku and Caulifla learned to sense ki, but to their surprise, they couldn't feel anyone that seemed like Tao. In fact, they couldn't even sense the Crane Hermit. Goku took Upa and Bora up to Korin, much to their honor, so they would be safe. Then, the kids headed out to search around the world, starting at Kame House. But Kame House had suffered a similar fate to the lands of Korin. No one was there, but they finally felt someone's ki, Master Roshi. Quickly, they rushed over to the nearby island and found the source of the problem. A large number of androids and Red Ribbon soldiers were in the middle of a war between Roshi, Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha, and a handful of other Red Ribbon soldiers. The leader of the enemy army was none other than Doctor Gero. Caulifla couldn't believe it. There were some soldiers she recognized, the ones that left the army a few years back. This is a huge shock to Caulifla, but before we see what happens there, only around 35% of you guys that watch these videos are subscribed, so don't forget to click the subscribe button down below so you never miss another What If adventure. Anyhow, Caulifla had left the army with the King of Earth, doing some charity work for them while she trained. She didn't expect something like this. Caulifla and Goku descended down in front of the androids. They were mangled and unrefined, clearly unfinished, nearly all of them fully mechanical, though there were some Cyborg Red Ribbon soldiers as well, including the should-be-dead General Blue and Red himself. From behind, Caulifla felt someone touch her leg. It was Violet. She was on the ground, beaten, but she was still alive. She had actually been leading the army that Caulifla left behind, using a lot of the riches there. She loved having limitless amounts of funds. Caulifla did consider her a friend, at least to some degree, so it made her really angry to see her this way. She lifted her up and brought her to Chaozu, telling him to take her far away, maybe to Bulma. Chaozu did as told, flying off, but Blue was about to shoot him down with an I-beam. Much to everyone's surprise, Goku slapped it away. He had gotten incredibly powerful since the last time they met. Violet was the only general who had stayed with Caulifla, who acknowledged her power and grew to believe in her goal of making the world a better place. Caulifla was infuriated. Gero welcomed Caulifla and Goku sarcastically, calling her a traitor. He yelled at her for having joined forces with the enemy. He knew that she couldn't be trusted after changing the army the way she did. By all accounts, she should have been a greater leader than Red, but she made them weak. Now look at them. All around Caulifla, her loyal soldiers laid dead, and those who were still alive were scared. Caulifla looked around at the crowd of androids and cyborgs, giving them one last chance to stand down or join her once more, but none of them moved. According to Gero, he still believed that power was justice, and the Red Ribbon Army was the strongest in the world. They needed to control the world with an iron grip so that their justice may reign. Caulifla smirked, saying that the harder he closed his grip, the more soldiers and power would slip through his fingers. She said that Commander Red didn't even want to rule the world, but he told her to shut up. The Z-Fighters behind them told her and Goku that they tried everything, but those androids were too powerful. These aren't the same androids we know. They're still prototypes, and much weaker than the likes of androids 17 and 18, but they're still stronger than anyone expected. Chaozu finally returned, just to watch Tien, Krillin, Roshi, and Yamcha be attacked by the normal soldiers, as well as Blue and Red, whom Gero called androids 10 and 9. Chaozu joined in the fight. Caulifla and Goku ran straight to Gero, with Goku throwing the first punch, but it was caught by something, and he was thrown back to Caulifla. Gero laughed, telling them that he was no android, at least not yet, so they had to instead fight their mutual friends. The one that caught the fist was Master Shen, the Crane Hermit, but he had pieces of him replaced with android parts. Behind him, Tao Pai Pai walked in. They had both been turned into cyborgs. Gero explained that both Tao and Shen swore revenge on Goku and Caulifla. After seeing just how powerful he was after becoming a cyborg, Tao invited Shen to become one as well. He refused at first, but Caulifla and Tien's Shen's departure from the Crane School pushed him to the edge, and he ultimately offered himself to Gero for experiments. They were called Androids 11 and 12, his most powerful creations thus far. The androids were so strong. Android Red was huge, swiping at foes with massive arms and firing rockets from his fingertips, and Android Blue's telekinesis was a massive boost from his inspiration's original power. His presence in battle greatly disrupted the fight as he held waves of opponents down for his allies to attack. Tao and Shen were the most fearsome of all. The augmentations on their bodies had transformed these masters of martial arts into something unreal. Their decades of experience combined with the cutting-edge technology made them into the perfect killing machines. They also had a device that they gripped onto that drained a little bit of their enemy's energy, though it wasn't much. It was just a prototype after all. While the androids battled, Gero realized that he had already won. No one was able to go after him as he popped open a capsule and sped off in a plane. He would just await his androids to return to him once the battle was won. Goku and Caulifla's best efforts couldn't keep up with Tao and Shen, even when one lucky strike from Goku took out one of Shen's arms. The android simply stared at Goku. The kid apologized. He didn't mean to maim him like that, but Shen smirked and told him not to worry because his crane had opened its mouth and shot a huge concentrated beam that sent Goku flying back into the battle behind them, knocking over Krillin and Blue in the process. Goku struggled to get back up, but Shen landed on top of him and continued to beat him down. His friends, Krillin, Yamcha, and Roshi jumped on the back of Shen, pulling him back and firing a triple Kamehameha. Shen managed to absorb some of it, but the power was such that the device exploded. Goku thanked his friends and stood tall by them. Meanwhile, Caulifla kept on fighting Tao. She tried to reason with him, telling him that he can still stop this. There are other ways to achieve power, but Tao didn't say anything. He slashed across Caulifla's chest, cutting part of her Crane School top. She knew he was too far gone to be saved, but even if she knew she had to defeat him, she just couldn't. Another blast from the crane came ahead, and she looked back to watch Goku block it head on in order to defend his friends. They couldn't keep going like this, but before she could say anything else, someone else spoke up. Master Roshi. He told everyone to leave, to fight another day. They were all now Turtle School students. Play well, eat well, and rest well. In the end, that's all that mattered. Goku yelled at Roshi to stop. They can still win together, but Krillin put a hand on Goku's shoulder, telling him that they needed to go. It took a bit, but Goku accepted it. He told everyone to take as many soldiers as they could and follow him, calling down the flying Nimbus so he could ride it while holding the soldiers. Krillin and Yamcha couldn't fly just yet, so Tien and Chaozu helped out. Caulifla, without saying another word, opens her aura to push away Tao and flies after them too. Shen is about to fire another beam from his hat, but Master Roshi appears before it, bulking up and smashing Shen into the ground. Shen got back up instantly. Roshi was surrounded. Blue, Red, Shen, Tao, and some other prototypes. He didn't think he could win like this. He looked straight at Shen. He was once his friend, his partner under Master Mutaito. He pleaded with him one more time to join him, extending his hand out, but Shen stood silent, saying that it was too late for him. Shen pointed forward, commanding the other cyborgs to attack. As all the various villains began to rush towards him, Master Roshi took one long sigh, cupping his hands to the side. He thought of his students, including Tien, Chaozu, and Caulifla. He never got to teach her much, but he was able to help her turn good. That's what really mattered. But above everyone, he thought of Goku and Krillin. He was very proud to see the two of them grow as powerful fighters. A blue orb glowed, and he fired the most powerful Kamehameha thus far. It completely blew everyone away in the island. All the heroes looked back at the explosion with tears in their eyes. Krillin looked at Goku, who shook his head as they sped off. He couldn't feel his master's ki anymore. The smoke and dust around them settled. Shen and Tao walked towards Roshi. He had damaged them with a Kamehameha, greatly, but Shen had gotten him with a Dodonpa at the same time. Red informed them that sadly, Blue had been taken down in the blast. Shen said that it didn't matter. Roshi was defeated. All they had left to do was defeat Goku and Caulifla. For now though, they could return to Gero and get fixed up. They could still recover Blue. Dr. Gero would spend some time fixing them, telling them that he had begun to make progress towards future androids. Meanwhile, Goku and the rest arrived at the lands of Korin. They leave the soldiers below and bring both Upa and Bora down to welcome them. The two were very grateful to Korin for letting them stay up there, and he says that they're more than welcome anytime. But for now, the fighters need to train. Korin realizes the gravity of the situation once told that Roshi had been killed. After all, he was the only other person to make it up there. He didn't want to use it, and he didn't know how effective it would be, since they were already so strong now. But the Ultra Divine Water would be useful. Caulifla wasn't sure, but Krillin and Tien encouraged her. Her and Goku were their only hopes. The two drank it, but realized that it wasn't enough. They just knew it. Korin sighed and said that maybe going to Kami for some more training is the only way. He has some secrets he hasn't told them yet. Goku and Caulifla are surprised, and Korin allows passage to Kami's lookout to all of the Z fighters, who are incredibly surprised. Kami tried to tell them that he can't do anything to help. This is an earthly matter that must be resolved by earthly beings. Their training was incomplete, but he couldn't intervene. Caulifla was about to step up, but it was actually Goku to do it this time. He questioned Kami, asking how he could be considered the guardian of Earth while standing behind and doing nothing, while some robots killed everyone. Caulifla agreed, explaining that they know their training is incomplete, which is why they have returned. Even if they don't finish it right now, there has to be something they can do. Kami looked at his two students, then to Krillin, Tien, Chaozu, and Yamcha. He sighed, telling Popo to take care of the rest, and led Goku and Caulifla inside the temple. Popo smiled and showed off a little bell. The fighters were confused, but they would soon understand. Inside, Kami told the two what he had been keeping from them. It was something dangerous. People go insane. He opened the door to an endless void, only explaining that one day is a whole year, and that their training would begin immediately. Goku and Caulifla looked at each other and gulped, but there was a rush of excitement within them. The two high-fived each other and instantly rushed in to begin their training. Goku and Caulifla have an arduous fight ahead of them, so they must prepare. That means that their adventure continues on Saturday, June 5th. Watch out for the next exciting part in this What If story. For now though, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I'm having so much fun with this version of Caulifla, and I can see her leading us into different directions when it comes to Dragon Ball Z. Let me know in the comments down below what you want to see from her. If you want to see more stuff like this, be sure to share, leave a like, and a comment. That really helps me out a lot. This video was done ahead of time, so I'm sorry if you became a member in the time between me making this video and it being up on YouTube. Shout out to the Super Saiyan Legend and Super Saiyan God members of the channel. Brian Skidmore, Hannah Rowan, Mateo is Lost, Cage, Sacred Saiyan, Neo Whitcomb, Sith Lord, Darko Roktansky, Jin 1412, Obi-Wan Fun, Midnight Combatant, Fox Die, Eric Dragon, The Real Samuel Randall, Anthony Notes, and Zachary Croy. Thanks so much for your support, guys. This channel would just not be around without you all. If you want to know how to get your name shouted out in the next video, be sure to click the join button down below. There's a few extra perks too. Anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope those that are graduating or finishing off this semester of school are having a good time. Enjoy the summer, you guys. That's it from me, SmugStick, and until we meet again. See ya.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to SmugStick, unless you want to be destroyed.
Lord Beerus, that's hardly fair. But also, don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified when he uploads new videos.